Hey, what's going on? I think it's safe to say that most people's biggest fear when it comes to commitment in marriage is that their partner would one day cheat on them. And I've worked with many couples through the pain and destruction of an affair, so it is a legitimate fear because it's not a whole lot of fun to go through. So in this video, I want to talk about the number one predictor of an affair. Not so much so you can be like, I'm gonna look out for that and avoid that kind of person, more so you can check yourself, because most people that ended up in an affair didn't set out to do it. It was a slow fade over time. Most of them ultimately regret the decision. And so I want to talk about how we get there so we can avoid getting there. That's what we're gonna talk about today on Relationshots. Hey, welcome to Relationshots. My name's Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. If you've not already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss upcoming videos. If you want a free guide to intimacy, you'll see a link in the description area below. If we can help you in any area of your relationship, we'd love to do it, whether it's resources, classes, counseling, retreats, our marriage membership for couples who are married and need community and support and accountability. We'd love to walk with you in your journey to strengthen your relationship. That said, let's talk about it. The number one predictor of affairs in couples. So based on research, the number one predictor that a couple, one of them, would have an affair is something called negative comparison. It's the idea where you negatively compare your partner with a real or imagined alternative. So it's something like you just got done with a fight and you say to yourself, man, I could do better than this. Or you've had some kind of conflict and you say to yourself, man, I shouldn't have to put up with this. I can definitely do better than this. Or maybe you say something like, man, a lot of guys or a lot of girls would be lucky or love to be in a relationship with me based on what I bring to the table. And so what happens is this real or imagined alternative is the beginning point of betrayal. So negative comparison will cause us to build up resentment in the relationship. And when we're resentful about our partner, guess what? We're not going to invest as much as we should. We're going to pull back. We're going to withhold things because after all, why would I fully give of myself to somebody who is not deserving of it because I actually could do better than this person? And so you begin holding back. You're not giving all of yourself to the relationship, which then breeds more negative comparison and resentment in the relationship. This is one of the reasons why social media can be so damaging to your relationship, because at your fingertips are millions of people and millions of relationships that you can compare your current relationship to in a negative way. And guess what? They're all lying, which makes it even more damaging. Those people are not as successful, not as happy, not as wealthy, not as funny as they claim to be. And so you begin comparing negatively your relationship with some fictitious relationship. You inevitably are going to walk away and go, yeah, man, that looks a lot better than what I got. But it's not. In reality, those people are not actually what they propose to be. This is another one of the reasons that I'm not a huge fan of people having close friendships of the opposite sex. Again, I don't think that it's impossible for two people of the opposite sex to be friends and not end up in a relationship sexually at some point. I don't believe that. I've seen it over and over. I have some in my life. I know other people. What I'm saying is somebody that you regularly talk to consistently and often of the opposite sex about things provides an avenue in which you can begin to compare that person in that relationship to the negative things in your marriage. And the problem is comparing two things that are not the same thing will inevitably lead to some negative comparisons, because you're comparing a friendship which does not have to deal with all the negative aspects that a marriage has to deal with, right? In your friendship, you don't have to deal with managing finances together. You don't have to deal with different parenting styles together. You don't have to deal with conflict management a whole lot. And that friendship will always be more supportive, more validating, appreciate you. You tend to appreciate their negative feedback and them yours more than you do from an actual partner. You also will support and encourage the other person and them to you more than you would in a relationship where you're married or with a long-term partner. And so what happens is it gives you an outlet for a consistent negative comparison with one another. And that's why I think at times it can be so dangerous. But I did a whole video on that, so I'm not going to belabor that point right now. The key is that the number one predictor of affairs for couples is negative comparison, which ultimately leads to betrayal. Now, if we want to avoid betrayal, we want to implement the opposite of betrayal in our relationship to strengthen it. And what is that? That's called loyalty. And how do we build loyalty in a relationship? We cherish what we have and we nurture gratitude. What does that mean? It means if I'm cherishing the person that I'm married to, then I'm thinking about the good things about them. Then I'm going, man, I'm sure I am lucky to be married to so-and-so because of fill in the blank. We're cherishing the things. And if your relationship is not in a good place, you may be struggling to go, man, there's nothing I cherish about it. Well, think about your spouse or your partner and think about all the great qualities they have in their friendships with other people, because that is who they are. Maybe they're a great listener. Maybe they're a loyal friend. Maybe they're super helpful or empathetic or have compassion, right? That's who they are. You may not be experiencing it because your relationship's not in a good place, but that's who they are. And you can still cherish the fact that you're in a relationship with somebody who exhibits those qualities. And you got to nurture gratitude. You got to look for good things and you got to celebrate them. What you celebrate gets repeated. So we want to have gratitude. A lot of people have gratitude journals. Man, maybe you need to make a gratitude journal about your spouse where you're writing down the things that you're grateful for and you're reading them often and reminding yourselves of them even when they're not being exhibited presently in the relationship. You can still be grateful for what you know the potential is and what they've done in the past. So you want to nurture gratitude, you want to cherish what you have, and both of those will help you fight against negative comparison in a relationship. So if you want to have a strong, thriving marriage, the way you do it is you protect it. And one of the ways you protect it is you avoid negative comparison, while at the same time, you nurture gratitude and you cherish what you do have. That's how we avoid the number one research-based predictor of affairs that come out of betrayal in the relationship. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the comment section below. Do you nurture gratitude? Do you cherish what you have? Is that hard for you? And then how do you maybe avoid negative comparison? Or maybe you struggle with that. And you can talk about why you struggle not to negatively compare your current relationship with something else, because most of the time you're comparing a difficult reality with a false alternative that really doesn't exist anyway. So anyway, drop a comment in the comment section below. Again, if we can help you in any area of your relationship, would love to walk alongside you. Check out all the resources in the description area below. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Relation Shots.